Hello, loves. It's Lisa Danielle, and you're watching Zoom After Dark. This week, Bishop James Jackson gives us all the tea on what we need to know before we say I do, if we've already said I do, or even if you're thinking about saying I do. Listen, this was great relationship advice, and I hope that you're blessed by it. Without further ado, Bishop Jackson. Hello, loves. It's Lisa Danielle, and you're watching Zoom After Dark. Today, we have Bishop James Richard Jackson. He has a relationship course called Relationship Therapy. We're super excited about it. I'm not going to give you any details because he can definitely speak for himself. Without any further ado, Bishop Jackson, thank you for joining us. I'm just going to call you Uncle Rick from now on out. But everybody, I want to make sure that you know he's certified.
Amen. God bless you. Thank you so much. Hello to everybody. Good to see you all.
Yes, yes. Now listen, relationship therapy. The first thing you say, the very first thing you say, we're just going to jump on in the water, okay? If anybody needed like any kind of primer or some kind of easing into the content, we're just going to get right into it because that's how you did. The first thing you say when it comes to healthy relationships, there is no one size fit all advice.
Exactly. And that is true because a lot of people don't understand when you start a relationship, you first have to ask yourself, what type of relationship do I want to have?
Okay.
Because there's a lot of people who want the relationship to where I want, him or I want her to be with me all the time. And then there are those who say, well, I just want a relationship to where, I have my things and she has her things, or he has his things, I have my things. Then, then there's that independent relationship saying that, hey, when we together, we're a team. But, you do your thing, I do my thing.
Abomination. But I hear you.
But that's what people do. And when I say you do your thing, meaning it's more than just where you have your business and she has her business, and you have your goals, and she has her goals. That's basically what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
When we talk about doing our thing, you have your goals, he has his goals. It's nothing like getting to somewhere where you have goals and then they don't.
Yeah.
And that could be a messy situation.
Yes. Okay. So you know what? The first thing I want to dive into is all of the churchy stuff we hear. Do not be unequally yoked. I hear that all the time. And a lot of times we only attribute that to relationship with God. Explain a little more for me that concept of determining how you know that you're equally yoked with another person.
Well, first of all, let's when you take the text, okay, when everybody said, they say don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. That's a true saying because it's from the Word of God. But when you're looking at it through a relationship eye, you have to ask yourself, what am I bringing to the table? I mean, the first thing we want to know is, what is the other person bringing? Well, who's he doing? What is she doing? What has she got? Because you have to remember, when you're talking about being equally yoked, the first thing you gotta remember is whatever they bring into the table, remember you bringing some stuff too.
Right.
I always talk about the luggage theory. I always talk about, hey, so this person might have their Samsonite. Trust me, you got your Louis Vuittons that you bring in too. Now the question is, do you want to go ahead and open those luggage out? Or do you just want to sit back and just say, well, look, I'm going to see what he's got first, or I'm going to see what she's got first before I start opening up what I have. Because again, it's all about not just being unequally yoked, but am I prepared to have or to deal with what she has? It's bad enough I'm dealing with what I got on my own.
Right.
And if she has something or he has something, do I really want to deal with that, or am I capable of handling that situation?
Oh my goodness, that is so good. Now listen, now you talk about, having the conversation about the Louis versus the Samsonite, and amen. That is a good conversation to have. And the reason why I say that is because I think a lot of times there are extremes and this is just for probably more geared to the singles, but there are extremes in the dating situation where they are either all the way transparent and a little too much, where they depend on someone that has not taken covenant with them and is not required
to provide for them, they're all the way on that end of the spectrum, or they're not transparent enough, and they end up getting married to someone and they end up finding out all kinds of stuff in the process. So tell me what the equal balance of vetting that information looks like.
Well, basically what we have to do is, again, when we look at relationship, okay, we have to figure out, okay, what is relationship? What is relationship to you? What have you seen that makes you think, or that makes you know, okay, that's a relationship. That's the type of relationship I want. That's what I need. That type of thing. When we're dealing with one another, you have to decide, okay, first of all, here's the good thought. Daddy Albert said to me when I was a kid, he said, "Man, know what you're in." And for a long time, I didn't understand what he was talking about when he said, "know what you're in." But as I've gotten older, I understand what he meant. When he says, know what you're in, know what you're getting yourself into before you get too involved in a thing.
Okay.
You have to, when we're talking about, like I said, a relationship, know what this person is, know what they do. Find out, do some vetting of your own. Now, I'm not saying, look him up on Google. You can Google everything. But in regards to just go ahead and just, and it's not even a transparent thing, because if it's in you, it's going to come out.
Come on here.
Okay, so it's not even, well, I'm gonna come on out and be transparent. Well, then if you're gonna come on out and be transparent, then what were you doing in the beginning? Then apparently you must have been masking something that you didn't want me to see, or you were masking something that you didn't want me to hear.
Okay.
So my thing is, all you have to do is just talk to the person. Hey, how do you like your mom? How are you and your mom? How are you and your dad? Well, if the young man says, well, me and my dad, we have a relationship, or my father and I, we weren't, I didn't know my dad, or my father died when I was young, then you'll understand some of the things that he does, as if vice versa with the young lady. If they say, well, me and my mom, we butt heads a lot. Okay, then she's just like her mother, because they, two can't walk together unless they agree.
Unless they agree, right.
So again, you have to make sure that there is some, that there's some cushion there, so you'll be able to understand, okay, this is why he or she does what they do, or this is why they think the way they think.
Okay. So then give me some, one of the things that you said, and I want to touch back on it a little bit, is that you mentioned in passing, you said it really quickly, but it was so profound, and I want to go back to that thought, and I want you to expound a little bit there. And you said that defining what a healthy relationship is, and you said with that person, but I want to be clear that what you're saying is that people define what healthy looks like differently, and you have to find out if that person's health is that where you were going? That person's view of healthy may not be your view of healthy.
Exactly. When I was dealing with defining a relationship, of course, that's the first thing that I ask, people when I counsel them, pre-marital, post-marital, in between. I have a class that I do sometimes. I try to do it quarterly, where it says, before I say I do, or now that I've said I do, I really don't. That type of thing. Basically what it is that we have to define what a relationship is. Mm-hmm. Okay, what a relationship is. Is it sexual? Is it a partnership? Yeah. Is it a business? Yeah. Is it, my relationship is because we married, we related. That type of thing. Or is it a hit and quit it? Somebody said it's after dark, so are we pausing? Are we pausing for a cause? That type of thing.
Yeah. No, we talk about it all up in here.
Exactly. So I tell people all the time, especially fellas, I was like, hey, before you pause for the draws, you got to understand, because there's a cause and effect to everything in a relationship.
Right.
So my thing is, when we think about what a relationship is, going back to your question, is that we have to decide what type of relationship we really want, and then find out what type of relationship we really need. because sometimes we have guys or we have young ladies that we really want in our lives.
That got so uncomfortable just then.
I know. I look like I saw three people's nose just go like this.
Ooh.
You know.
Wait. Hold on. I want to say it again. The relationship we really want versus the relationship that we really need. Go ahead.
Exactly. So see that. So that's the thing. We have to figure out which one do what it is that we want versus what we need.
Yes.
Because a lot of us, right? We try to make our want what we need. And then what happens when we find out that want is really not what we need?
And did we really know what we wanted?
There you go. Then we get mad at the want for not being a need. Exactly. And that's not the want's fault. That's your fault.
Someone said I'm turning my camera off. Yeah. They're turning their camera off because you saw them. And I would do it too if I could. But listen, that is so good and that is so profound. So listen, I want to jump over into the I did, but now I don't. It can be so devastating to get married and then realize that a person you thought you knew, you didn't realize there were things that you did not ask prior to wedding day. And then there are things that we have a tendency to just go, oh, that'll be okay, and brush off, hoping that when we get married, it'll get better. And then we get married and it ain't better. And now it ain't better for 30 years and it's on my nerves. So the question for me is, give me some one, what do I do when I'm in a I did, but now I don't situation?
Now, first of all, let's go ahead and let's define the situation.
Okay.
For example, I was counseling a couple, no names please, but I was counseling a couple. They had been married for 42 years.
Okay.
And they were on the brink of divorce.
Right.
Think about it again. Married for 42 years.
Yes.
But now they want a divorce.
Wow.
It was simple. The marriage was, I said I do, but I really didn't.
Right.
How can that be? The marriage was arranged. This is the type of marriage where they decided that their culture stepped in and said, you got to marry him.
Right.
You got to marry her.
Right.
And see, she stayed quiet for a long time. And then all of a sudden, television got in the way. Twitter got in the way. Google got in the way. Facebook got in the way. Instagram, Honeygram, all the brands. All of them got in the way.
Yes.
And now she's talking. She's got opinions. She's got thoughts. She's asking questions. See, he loved her when she was quiet and she just did laundry and she did what he told her to do. But see, now he's like, where's my dinner? She's like, it's in there.
Right. Twitter said,
and he's looking at her like, whoa, what happened?
Right.
The bottom line is sometimes, so again, answer number one, we allow culture to get in our way. The second thing that we do, that we said yeah, but now we mean no.
Right.
The second thing is basically, I thought she was. I thought he was.
Yep.
See, now what you mean I thought? We let our thoughts run away with things because the way my dad did my mom, I thought that's the way the relationship was supposed to go.
Ooh, that's good.
My mother was with my dad, I thought that when you saw your mom and your dad, they were just arguing back and forth. So therefore, you thought that's how you supposed to be. Y'all remember the Proud family, right?
Yes.
You need to meet their cousins, the Loud family.
The Loud family.
See, what happens is everybody loud.
Right.
Wrong is all get out, but they loud. And I tell people all the time, you can either be loud or wrong. You can't be loud and wrong. You can't do that. You gotta be one or the other.
Right.
Okay. So again, because I thought that's the way I'm supposed to answer him, now all of a sudden he ain't doing what he's supposed to do, or I thought that's the way I'm supposed to do her. I'm supposed to shake her when she don't answer me, or I'm supposed to get in her face when she don't do what I tell her. I thought that's what it was. And then the last one, I love this one. It don't look like what it's supposed to be.
Ooh.
It don't look like what it's supposed to be. What do you mean? Well, every time I saw her, wig was split.
Right.
Always dressed to the nines. Face exfoliated.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, you got to understand, that stuff costs money.
Right.
Now all of a sudden, she's taking the credit card, she's spending the money, she's spending the rent money, she's spending the bill money. I'm making all this money, and it's going into her.
Mm-hmm.
She looked good, but see, you didn't understand that looking good costs.
Yep.
As the old folks say back in the day, you got to count up the cost.
Yeah, it's sure enough cost. Amen.
And then watch this. And then for him, same scenario. Girl, he looked it good to me.
Right.
Of course he looked it good. He had, see, when stuff gets to looked it, that's all in the had category.
I looked it.
When it looked it, it's had category. What do you mean had? They had a house. They had a car. They had a job. Now, they don't have nothing. Now, they have you.
Listen.
Now, you're at the point where you're like, well, wait a minute. Aren't you going to do this? What happened to and then we ask that question. What happened to the man that I used to know?
Yes.
What happened to the woman that I used? Well, first of all, you didn't really know that woman. That woman and that man that you had was in your head. How is it? You thought, you looked it, and your culture allowed you to think that that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
So that's why I said in regards to on relationships, you have to make sure, you got to vet where you at. First of all, in your relationship, you got to figure out where you are with you.
Come on.
That's the main thing. That's point number one. Where are you at? Because see, my thing is this. I can't help you if I can't help me first.
Listen.
You know, you sit up here talking about, you know, this is going on at work and this is going on and so on, so on, so on, so on. Are you listening to me?
Right.
And then he's like, yeah. But if he's listening, there should be some type of response.
Right.
There should be some type of wisdom somewhere. There should be some type of leadership going on. If it's the man. If it's the woman, the same scenario. You can't talk to your woman about being a supervisor if she's never had a job. You can't talk to a man about owning a business when he's been an employee all his life at McDonald's, but now you got a business to run.
Right.
Okay? Wow. You trying to talk to your man about writing checks. You know, you talking about commas, and he talking about periods. Mm-hmm. Like pay periods.
Mm-hmm. And pay periods at that. Right.
See, so again, you have to fix yourself first before you can deal with the other person.
Right.
You just can't go in there saying, well, hey, this what I want, and I want this, and I want them to do this, and I want it. What are you going to do? What are you bringing to the table? And then watch this. Is what you bringing to the table, is that what they want to deal with? Are you sure they want to deal with that? I tell people all the time, it's hard enough dealing with me by myself. Then I got to deal with what you bring into? Oh, no, hold up. We got to take inventory.
Yeah.
Some stuff got to go in storage.
But that's good. And I want to talk about that because I'm laughing because I know you're jokey humor. So I know the looked at thing was hilarious for me because that's my but listen, you said some good stuff there, and I really want to touch on something you said when it comes to bringing something to the table.
Yes.
Sometimes I, especially being in a relationship realm, I've definitely heard tell of people that say, well, listen, I've just fallen out of love. I've just fallen out of love. I've just fallen out of love. And then you go deeper and it's, well, when we came to the table, we both had plans of what to put on the table. But now that the table is here, I'm the only one bringing something to the table. So the goals and the drive that he had, or the goals and drive that she had before we got married, once we get married, there's almost like this perception that I'm no longer in a space where I need to be bringing something to the table to my mate. Talk about that a little bit.
Matter of fact, and it's funny that you would bring that up because a lot of women get that type of get into that type of situation, and it's called motherhood. Because when you were single, you know, you was a go-getter. You know, you was about them commas. You know, you was writing checks with all them zeros.
Right.
Now all of a sudden, you're a parent now. Now your drive is, instead of it's 100, now it's 50-50 or more like 60-40, because now you're focusing on your child. But now your mate is saying, hey, what happened to that drive? What happened to, you know, you got to come on, you got to go and get this. You got to go and be about. But now here's the thing. Goes back to relationship.
Right.
What type of person am I with? If I'm with a person that's emotional, now when I say emotional, meaning they have emotional scars, then I'm not going to bring up things that's going to tear him or her down.
Right.
I need to bring, I understand that there's a problem, but I need to learn how to bring it another way.
Right.
So we'll be able to communicate.
So that I can be heard.
Thank you very much.
Right. Okay.
So therefore, so watch this. What I need to become now, I need to become an active listener.
Okay.
Okay. So now, what do we mean by being an active listener? Meaning, I'm not listening to how you talk.
Right.
I'm listening to what you're saying. Because, see, a lot of times we listen to how you talk.
Right.
See, look, I had two people say, what do you mean by you listen to how we talk? Like, for example, when I tell you to sit down, I mean sit down. Or, could you please, listen, could you please sit down? I need to talk to you.
My Lord. Yeah.
See, there's a difference. See, no, I'm not mad at all.
Right. Are you
You
sure?
know,
Right.
I'm really, you know what? I'm not mad, I'm just concerned.
Right.
See, so there's a difference in how we look at things. So we really should be able to, like I said, it's the communication thing that will help us in regards to the situation that you're talking about. Because, see, that does happen a lot of times when, and it's not just pregnancy, it could be a family change. Do you not know that every 10 years, we as humans change? Every 10 years. Everything, regardless.
Absolutely.
Some of the stuff we thought, yeah, I could do that. Also, 10 years later, what was I thinking?
Right.
You know, so what we have to understand is we have to grasp, like I said, and I go back to this because this is very important, the communication piece. Because the communication will help you understand your relationship.
Yeah.
Because, see, now that I'm able to communicate with you, I can better understand where you are. So watch this. As your mate, I can help you get back to where you want to be.
And you know what? That's good, because you know what we do? Sometimes we marry a person for the season we're in, and not the person that can be in every season or give us the latitude to grow and evolve in different seasons. So we don't marry the all season person, right? We marry the right now.
See,
this look good to me.
Don't make me say it. Don't see. I know what you're trying to make me say. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on now. Everybody, please go ahead and get your pens, get your eyeliners, get your Crayolas. I'm getting ready to share something with you real quick.
Right.
All right, here it go. Get your Sharpie. You can write it on the wall. It's all right.
Right.
Okay. Some folk are in a relationship for a reason. Some folk are in a relationship for a season.
Yes.
I'll say it one more time. You can be in a relationship for a reason, and you can be in a relationship for a season. Now, here's where stuff get colorblind. Some of us who are in relationships for a reason try to turn that reason into a season.
Ouch. Right.
And then some of us who are in a relationship for a season turn it into a reason.
Right.
Hint, hint, clue, clue. We mess up the good thing that God gave us, God sent to us. Hint, hint, clue, clue, clue. We mess ourselves up and the person who we were with because we totally exchanged why they were with us in the first place.
Listen, and sometimes mistaking seasonal people for lifetime people does more damage to the person that you've selected even than it does to you.
Exactly.
Because they may not know they're not a lifetime person.
See, I keep telling, I don't know why you're making me do. Number 2, go ahead and write this down. Go ahead and write this down again.
Yes.
Come on, go, get your Sharpie, get your eyeliner, get some lip gloss that be popping. Check this.
Yes.
Second point, not only are we in relationships for a reason or for a season, don't allow your relationship to become a mistaken identity.
Ooh.
What do I mean by that? I'm saying that sometimes
that was offering. Yes.
Sometimes, watch this. Sometimes, y'all, we get with Sylvia, and Sylvia knows that you're James, but she treats you like Mark.
Oh, because Mark stepped on her toe 20 years ago.
Exactly.
Okay. Hold on, because I want to expound, but I want to add something else to that. Is it possible that you can get with Sylvia and Sylvia knows that you're James, but your relationship can't go where it needs to go because James doesn't even know that he's James?
Now, that can be, now watch this, that can be true, but again, let's go ahead and rewind.
Right, Sylvia.
Before I get even before then. What did I say?
Sylvia,
Before I get into a relationship, before I say I do, before I say I do and I don't, I have to figure out me.
Yep.
What am I bringing?
Yes.
What am I doing? Am I able? Am I capable?
Yes.
Am I willing? Okay, I heard you, bro. I heard you. Do I want to?
Right.
Do I want to? Do I want to deal with this? Yeah. Do I want an instant family? Can I handle an instant family? Yeah, I like instant oatmeal. I like instant grits. But instant family, that's just not my cup of tea right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Can I deal with baby mama drama? Or, am I going to be the caddy for the baby daddy? Which it's like, you got to figure out which am I able? Is this something that I truly want to be a part of?
Right.
Okay. So that's why I said in regards to that, you got to go all the way back to, is this you? Because see, like you said, because if James don't know he's James, then Sylvia shouldn't be with him.
Come on here.
Because why? Because Sylvia's already vetted. Sylvia said, so tell me, James, so what do you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I just be chilling. Strike one.
Right.
So James, so do you work or, oh yeah, I work.
And that's
Right to.
right. Yep.
It's like if I have to pull
Yes.
information out.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't sign up to be itch high private eye. We're supposed to be
Right.
communicating to develop a type of relationship.
Yes.
You can't develop a relationship if I got to pull information out of you. Because watch this. What did I tell you? Whatever's in you is gonna come out. I might pull something out that you didn't want me to pull out. Then
Right.
all of a sudden, stuff get real then.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So let's go back to one of the things that you say in relationship therapy. You
Gotcha.
say a few things, and one of the things that jumped out at me, there are a couple of them. The first thing you said was learn your partner's emotional cues. Now, let me just say this. As a single, right, who is over 40,
Right.
you can you are settled sometimes. I want to believe that most people are settled. You are aware of yourself. You're very self-aware, right? Because you've spent some time. We would hope that you've spent some time getting to know self. I'm constantly telling people, if you don't like you and you don't want to spend time with you, what makes you think somebody else want to spend time with you? Spend some time by yourself so you understand what they're getting, right?
True.
But it can also be a challenge once you're in a relationship to recognize someone else's emotional cues. Talk to me a little bit about recognizing your mate's emotional cues.
First of all, in regards to, and I'm glad that you brought this up because we were kind of jumping into it just a little bit in our last conversation. When you become an active listener,
Yeah.
the first thing is, just like I told you, I'm not listening to how you say it. I'm listening to what you say.
Yep.
And then with me, by me listening, I'm not going to listen to you like this.
Right.
I'm not going to listen to you with my arms folded. I'm not going to listen to you with my, what are these things, fellas?
Are you done yet?
These are what we call judgmental pauses.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And sometimes, and watch this, sometimes we do it without even knowing it. And again, it's not to say that we're right, wrong, or indifferent, but if you're talking to somebody and they going like this, they can't look at you, then apparently they're not interested in nothing you say.
Right. And it comes across as dismissive. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So my thing is this: if I'm with Michelle, and like I said, we've already talked, we're in a relationship, and I know that Michelle is not emotional, but she's high-spirited, if you will, about certain things. So all of a sudden, she's all about, hey, we got to get this money. We got to go ahead and do this thing. And I need you to be so-and-so. And I need, and then, and the guy is like, oh, okay, I heard you. Oh, I heard you hollering about you need me to be here. You need me to be, but what about you? No, what you have to do is you have to understand that she's high-spirited and she's not talking at you as to say you're not.
Right.
But she's talking at you to try to motivate the situation.
Right.
So what I have to do is, I know she's emotional, and I have to understand her emotional cues. So therefore, she gets to talking loud because that's what her family does. When they try to prove a point, they always go like this. Well, see, I'm trying to get, but no, wait. You're not going to overtalk me. And it's like, whoa. I see, said the blind man. So now, once we have those things in order, you can understand the emotional pitch. Right. And you won't do certain things to allow that emotion thing to come out. Now, watch this. Now I'm going to flip the script for a second. Because, pancake is not good just on one side. Pancake got to be golden brown on both sides.
Yeah.
One pancake, pancake can't be burnt on them outside. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, but the thing is, you being high-spirited, you being emotional, you also have to understand your mate, he or she.
Yeah.
If you start getting loud and you know that they've come from a situation where loudness was wrong, you don't want to get too high-spirited or you don't want to get too loud, but you want to go ahead and prove your point. And how do I prove my point? Like, for example, we're all in this thing to make some money. What are your thoughts? How do you feel? Are you with me on that, or are we thinking alike? See, it's different. So now instead of me saying, "What the problem is we got to go ahead and get this, and we got to move, and we got to," it's
right.
like, whoa, hold on. I'm hearing this. We got to, and you telling me
Right.
I'm hearing a lot about what I got to do,
right.
but you ain't said nothing about what you gonna do yet.
Right.
But what you got to do is you have to say, "Hey, I don't want it. I know I can't get too fired up. So I'm going to make sure that she rises with me so she won't think that I'm trying to knock her down or knock him down."
Right. That's good. No, that is good. I want to talk for a minute to the singles about, well, first I want to ask a question for the singles, and then I want to go back to the marrieds.
Yeah.
You talk about fighting fair often. Often. You talk about fighting.
Yeah, Lord.
Yeah, you talk about fighting often. So I want us to talk about it, but before we venture there, I want to talk to an area of the singles, because I see that there is people are always on Instagram and Twitter and you said Instagram, honeygram, all of that, talking about singleness, talking about all of these invisible parameters and bars and levels that we should attain to in our singleness. And, a lot of them are 24 hours old. I mean, they're like 20. Oh my Lord, I'm 25 and all my friends are married. You know what I mean? But what about the single that's in their 40s? What about the single that's in their 50s? What about the single that's in their 60s? And they're not married. Some of them have been married. Some of them have never been married. But now they're in a season of their life where they're wondering, and when, God, are you going to send the right person for me? How do I navigate the dating arena when I'm not a rookie in this thing, right? I've lived for a while. I'm established. I have things to lose, right? It's a little easier to jump all in when you have nothing to lose.
Right.
You have things that you can lose. You know what I mean? How do I navigate what dating is supposed to look like to me in the later seasons of my life? Give them some encouragement, because one thing I will say is that a lot of singles platforms speak to singles, but they do not speak to older singles as if older singles are married to the Lord and they just don't want nothing but Jesus for the rest of their life. Amen. It's after dark. We want a little more than the Lord in this season. Is that what I'm saying?
Well, I'll say this to you, Nisi. The one thing that I have to say to singles is it goes back to my favorite phrase: a reason, a season. A reason and a season. When your season comes,
right,
then you will understand the reason why it's there. I'll say it again. When your season comes, you will understand the reason why your season is there. It won't be when your reason comes, then you'll understand why your season. No. See, that when I hear people, oh, my biological clock, and oh, my friend just got me, oh, I'm 50, and I'm 50.
Okay, so I was going to have you do that, but why don't you talk about the differences between reason and season? Because a lot of people don't understand that there are people that are marrying out of need.
Right.
And exactly. Out of purpose. It's just need.
Right. There you go. Now, see, here's the thing for singles.
Right.
Single people, you have to understand that there is a purpose for you being single this long, this time.
Mm-hmm.
this season, there is a purpose. Notice I didn't say there's a reason. I said there is a purpose.
Right.
And see, what we need to understand is that us being single, we have to make sure that our purpose is clear.
Okay.
Our purpose is clear to us. Because
Yep.
what will happen is, watch this. Now I'm getting ready to, I'm getting ready to mess some heads up.
Right.
Because what happens is we get hooked on our purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We marry our reason, not waiting on our season, and now the reason destroys our purpose.
Mm.
And now we're stuck in something that we can't get out of. And then when we get out, we're so jacked up and jaded to the point to where we don't want to start over. We don't, because you have to remember, your purpose is something that is within you. This is something that you want to do. This is something, when I grow, remember when we was in kindergarten and the kindergarten teacher said, what do you want to be when you grow up? First thing we said, I want to be a policeman. I want to be a doctor. I want to be, all of a sudden, you allow.
Background dancer on solid gold.
See, there it is. See what I'm saying? But you allowed a reason to mess up your purpose, and now your season has passed.
Right.
See, so
Right.
that's the type of thing that we have to understand, that our purpose for all singles, you have a purpose. And if you stay focused, and I'm trying not to be too spiritual, but if you stay focused on your purpose, then you'll understand how your pathway will lead you into your season. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I want to redirect. What do you say to singles who say, well, you know what? It's entirely, what do you think? Is it entirely possible for you to have a desire of your heart to marry? Like, it is a desire of your heart, but to believe that God does not want you married. Is that possible?
You know, it's a funny thing about that, because I talked to a group of people actually who their thing was, you know, I really want to be married, but why can't I be married? Why can't I be married? And again, it just goes back to that season thing. It's not your time yet. And see, and then it also, goes back to you. Have you done what you were supposed to do? There's a lot of things. A lot of people bring stuff. What do you say? What are you bringing to the table? Well, I'm bringing a lot of incomplete stuff. What do you mean incomplete? You don't like peanut butter, no jelly.
Right. Ham, no burger. Right.
Yeah, no ham, no burger. You know what I'm saying? You know, ice with no tea, stuff like that. So when you bring things that are incomplete, then you're incomplete. It makes two halves make a whole.
Right.
But you can't even be a half if you're an incomplete half.
I got you.
So that's what I tell singles, from, you ready? From 18 to 118. Be sure that your purpose is clear. Because see, when your purpose is clear to you, then you'll be able to go ahead and see which way he or she is coming.
And I want to talk there, because I never will forget, there was a time when I was sitting and I was talking with people about relationships, and we were going back and forth, and we were having this dialogue. And it was before I had ventured to write my book. I was talking about the possibility of writing a book, and not really being ready for the world to hear. Because, you know, there's a great deal of vulnerability when you have to put yourself out there for people to make comment about whatever you say. Right. And one thing this one lady said to me is, she said, how do you know that your spouse is not on the other side of you finishing this book? Because you end up interacting with them because of your platform. Your platform expands, and then you end up intersecting? How do you know that someone that has been touched by your book doesn't say, I'm going to go to a book signing and get my book signed, and just so happens to have a parent or a brother or whomever there who ends up being your destined mate? You never understand or know the purpose that God has in the directives and the things that he gives you to do. And I know for me personally, saying to myself, okay, then I'm going to prioritize finishing all of the things that God has put before me. For me personally, I don't believe that my season of singleness was attached to incompleteness, because I spent a long time trying to make sure that all the crazy that I had circa 2010, right, didn't make it to another person. But that incomplete part of it can also, and I'm saying it, but I want to know if you agree, that incomplete piece of the pie that you have can also be things that God has set before you to complete, right? So that his purpose is complete. And that very thing may be the thing that is keeping that person or that destined person, right? Because I can definitely say, 44 years old, the person that I would have chosen at 28, what I want at 44 is not what I wanted at 28.
Exactly. Because again, it goes back to what was what I was telling you about being incomplete. Because
so don't think we saying y'all incomplete. Y'all ain't incomplete. What we saying is it might be something else for you to do. Is all I'm saying.
No, what I'm saying is, and again, when I say incomplete, I don't mean incomplete as an individual.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about incomplete. There are many types of incomplete, because like I said, somebody made macaroni and cheese one time, right? And they put all the ingredients in. It looked like macaroni and cheese, okay? It smelled like macaroni and cheese. It tastes like macaroni and cheese. But guess what? It would have tasted better if they would have put eggs in it.
Right.
Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not just the point of everybody's incomplete, but there are certain things. It goes back to that purpose I was telling you about.
Yeah.
When you lock into that purpose of what God has for you, we sing the song. It's a cute song. What God has for me is for me. But my thing is, I got to recognize that is what God has for me. Versus, just like you said, hey, I'm 30 and I'm single. What's wrong with me? What's going on with me? There's nothing wrong with you.
Right.
You just need to accept what God allows.
Yep.
Because you're better off anyway.
Right.
And then, of course, you ready? I always say this. Y'all can write it down. It's portable.
Right.
Man's rejection is God's protection.
Yep. Yes.
I always say that. Man's rejection is God's protection. So any type of, and when I say man, I'm just not talking about figuratively speaking. I mean, gentlemen, I'm even talking to you too. If there's a rejection, if there was a rejection, that's God's protection, meaning God still has some things for you to do. God still has some stuff that you haven't checked into yet. You probably thought, well, once I write the book and I get this out, then I'm gonna be ready. I'll be good to go. I'm in it. And all of a sudden, God's like, hold on, not yet. There's still some things that I need to work in you.
Yeah.
And see, and another thing about singles, there are 3 different types of singles.
Come on.
There are those who are single, as in they are a person, never been married, never had relationship, never,
Yeah.
Then there is those who are single, who are divorced, separate.
Right.
Then there is single, who's a widow or widower.
Right.
Now notice, all 3 of these people are single, but yet all 3 of these people have different purposes for their lives.
Come on. Right.
Okay? The single person needs to understand relationship. The divorced person has to reevaluate relationship.
Come on, you walking heavy. Come on.
And the third person, the widower, has to repair relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to understand that when we're dealing with relationship, this is the key thing. It's all about the three. Here we go. Third point. Y'all ready? Are y'all right? I hope y'all writing down. Here we go. 3. Y'all know how I do.
3.
There is accountability.
Yes.
Responsibility.
Yes.
And availability.
Yes.
I'll say them again. Accountability, responsibility, and availability.
Okay.
How are these important? Accountability is when you start talking about, I want to get into a relationship.
Yeah.
You are holding yourself accountable for this entity, for this thing.
Yeah.
Bottom line, you decide to do this. So watch this. I don't give a care if she don't like you. I don't give a care if you got in it and you jacked it up, messed it up, or whatever. You decided that you wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Now, accountability is key, because if I can't hold you accountable, then therefore, who's responsible?
Right.
You can't have a relationship if nobody wants to be responsible.
Right.
That's why I am totally against open marriage.
Yep.
Because open marriage is a lack of responsibility between two people who are held accountable to each other.
Right.
And then, of course, my last one. Again, responsibility, accountability, and then availability.
Come on.
You have to make yourself available to your mate, to your spouse. Watch this. You have to make yourself available to your relationship. You can't be a business tycoon and put your business before the relationship, because now your business is going to hold you accountable for the business. It's not going to hold you accountable to the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But you said that's what you wanted.
Yep.
So now it's like you're not looking at your person as a person of interest.
Right.
You're looking at them as a financial obligation.
Yeah.
Because see, watch this. For a business person, time is money, and money is time.
Every day.
And if I'm looking at you, and you a business, are you worth my time? Because you messing with my money.
Listen. Right.
That's what we do. So we have to understand and make sure that in this, again, it's all about keeping those things in front. Those 3 things, those 3 characteristics will help you, especially when you're single, because then you'll be able to, accountability, responsibility, and availability. Single, single, single. Singleness, single divorce, single widow, or widower. All 3 are single.
Right.
But again, some were seasoned, some were a reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? I want to open up because someone said, can you expound on the evaluation part?
Evaluation. Yes. What you can do is when I say evaluate and I think I was talking about how you evaluate a person's relationship, or you evaluate the person as a whole. If I'm going to evaluate you, I'm going to go ahead and I want to find out more about you, where you're from, how do things work in your life.
Right.
Okay. Were you a part? I'm sorry. Were you a part of a divorce or a divorced family? Were were your father and your mother, were they divorced? Because I was talking with a couple one time, and the one spouse, they've been married for over 40 years. The other spouse, they ain't never been married. They just had woman to woman to woman to woman. Some were shacking, packing, and racking.
Right.
And she's trying to figure out, why are we in divorce? Why are we talking about divorce? Well, he never wanted to be married in the first place.
Right.
So again, we have to understand when you evaluate the cause of who's doing what, where, when, and why, so
Right.
I'll know how I can deal with that certain situation. Hope I answered the question.
Yeah, and I did ask her to redirect just in case we haven't answered it. Let's transition to marrieds for a second.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's a married only thing, but I think it's definitely something that the singles and she said you did answer her question.
Okay.
I think that the singles need to hear this. So you said,
why you gotta say it all like that? Like
you said so much. You said so much in this. You really did. So when you were talking about the actual partnership, which I thought was so good, you said 3 things. You said recognize what's important to your partner.
Mm-hmm.
You said don't make winning your goal.
Yes.
And you said learn how to respectfully resolve conflict.
Now, see, with those, I'll just go ahead and let you, because I know where you're going. I'm going to go ahead and catch you right quick so we can go ahead and hold hands and walk across the street.
Amen.
When we deal, and please forgive me.
Yeah.
But our culture, we have major issues with conflict.
Woo!
We don't do conflict well.
No.
Conflict to us is high blood pressure, hypertension.
Yes.
You know, but we have to understand something.
Yep.
That in conflict, first of all, we have to understand that it's not about who's right and who's wrong.
Right.
Because again, when you're married, I'm sorry, there was a phrase that you agreed to. They said when the two become one.
Right.
So therefore, there is no argument.
Right.
There is no battle line. There is no it's me against you or I'm right and you wrong. No, because guess what? If you right, you still wrong. Because again, I'm a part of you and you are part of me.
Wow.
So my thing is this, it is my theory that we have to be right together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes. Now watch this. Okay, I heard you. How can we be right together when we don't agree?
Come on.
We can agree. We can agree to disagree.
Okay.
Now watch this. When we agree to disagree, now it's not statements anymore. It becomes an opinion.
Right.
So now I respect the third point you were talking about. I respect your opinion.
Yes.
Even though we can't come to a happy medium.
Exactly. Even though it's not mine, I still respect your right to have it.
There you go. So I'm not telling you, hey, I won, you lost, lose it. No. We ain't doing all that. What we're talking about is
right again. Right.
Thank you. You know.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get you to understand is I respect you not only as my wife, but I also respect you as a person, as a human being. Now watch this. Why did I throw that in there and why did I soften up on that? Because you have to understand, remember when we was kids, what was the first thing we said when we got in trouble? You remember when we go in the bathroom and we close the bathroom door and we said, I'd be glad when I turn 18 because ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing.
Right. Right.
So now, if I'm sitting up here telling you, Lisa, you wrong, you this and you that. No, you ain't got nothing. Now, all of a sudden, all those things that we brought up hearing comes back now. And we had it in storage. But for some reason, we thought this little space in the corner needed something. So we're going to bring that out and put it in it.
Right.
And there's no need for it. So that's why I said we respect one another's judgment. We listen to one another. And we understand that you don't have to win at everything. I won when I said I do.
Right.
You won when you took my name.
Right.
It's funny. Have you ever heard somebody say to you, like when you get married, and then when they call you, like for example, Lisa Block, you be like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That ain't my name.
Right.
My name is, everybody like, oh, and then when you say it with some sass, you know.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, you're growing on your own now. You know, you're growing in sexy.
Right. Right.
And everybody's like,
Put some
well, I'm
respect.
sorry. Exactly. Put some spec on my name. You know.
Not even with the T, the K.
Exactly.
Put respect on my name.
Put some spec on my name. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But that's what that's about. We have to understand that it's important because with conflict, the first thing we want to do is what the little song the little boy do. All I do is win, no matter what. And somebody say, and the hands go up, and they stay there, and they stay there.
I'm mad that you know the word.
That's how the argument do. And it stay there, and it stay there.
Right. Yes.
It's like, what?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you're right. Now what?
Now I'm mad that you said, okay, I'm right, because you didn't really mean that I was right, but you
You
said,
know?
I shut up. Right. Okay, so listen.
Right.
This one is hard for me, because let me just tell you.
Okay.
As I could speak as a divorced person, when you've been in a situation where there's lots of conflict, if anything looks like conflict, you want to lace up the running shoes and be out that situation. And you say, expect ups and downs, and then you give relationship advice for getting through life's ups and downs. I know we all say we're not always going to agree. I know we all say they're going to be ups and downs. But I think if I'm correct, and you can tell me because you counsel people, but if I'm correct, we know that those things can happen, but we don't think it's going to happen to us.
Boy, how many times have I heard that?
Is it accurate?
I didn't know that I was going to be a part of that. I didn't know. But you know what, though?
I don't want you to always agree, but I want you to agree all the time.
Well, see, now, watch this. I don't want you to always agree. Watch this. I don't even want you to agree.
Right.
I just want you to understand.
Ooh, okay.
See, there's a difference.
Yes.
See, again, I'm going to say it one more time.
Yep.
I don't want you to always agree.
Yep.
I don't even want you to agree. I just want you to understand.
Understand.
Because see, when you see, just like you said, when you agree, there's like, no, you agree too quick. No, we was arguing and we was fussing and no. If you understand,
right,
that means now I understand the logic, I understand the situation, and how the two come together.
Yes.
So that's all I want you to do. I just want you to understand.
Okay, and I'm gonna throw out this advice, you guys, so that you have it if you're writing down. I want you that because he does go in depth about them, but I want to talk about these things. He says, don't take your problems out on your partner. Number one. Number two, some problems are bigger than the both of you. Number three, be open to change. And number four, don't ignore problems.
Now, there are two in there that again, I'm talking cultural wise, we have a problem with.
Right.
We will down our partner without knowing it. Because again, you got to remember what I said back. I keep going back to the beginning where we talked about understanding our partner and knowing the type of relationship we have. If you had a partner whose mother or father told them that they wasn't going to be nothing, you ain't going to be nothing. You're going to be homeless. You're going to be this. You're going to be that. I don't know why you end up doing that. All you is dumb. You're stupid. And then all of a sudden, then they turn around and then you tell them the same thing.
Right.
It's like, why? Why are you doing that? But don't sit up here and try to browbeat your partner. That's one of the reasons you don't want to do that. Second thing, watch this. You don't want to browbeat them because, again, what happens is that we lose sight of who you are.
Yes.
When I say you, meaning the mate.
Yes.
Because, yes, I'm talking to Lisa, but see, Lisa said the same thing that Michelle said. So now I need to tell Lisa what I told Michelle, or I need to tell Michelle what I told Lisa.
Right.
No, those are two different people, two different times, two different phrases, two different situations.
And two different reactions, right? We're going to reply differently.
Like I said, reruns are good, but here's my thing. Reruns are good when you want to see a rerun. But when you want to see a movie, you want to see a movie.
Right. Right.
Okay. So again, now what? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and proofread.
Yes.
The reason why I said reruns are good.
Yes.
Because you know what's going to happen when you see the rerun.
Right.
You know every word. You know what's going to happen. You know, in the end, they all going to walk off in the sunset. Somebody going to tell a joke. We all going to be laughing. But see, when you see the movie,
yes,
you don't know what's going on. You're going to be on the edge of your seat. You're going to be thinking, and you're going to be thinking one thing, and then something else going to happen.
Right.
So in your relationship, again, you want to be able to stay intact with the movie.
Right.
And not let it become a rerun. And then lastly, number 4. What did you say number 4 was? I think that's where I wanted to go.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking for the next question. No.
Y'all forgive me. Forgive me. But the last one was important because we do. That's another thing that we do.
Yep. I'm getting it for you. Give me 1 second.
Okay, while she's getting at you guys, again, we want to make sure that we don't get things mixed up with who we are.
Don't ignore problems.
Say it again.
I'm sorry. Don't ignore problems.
Thank you. Do not ignore the problem.
Yeah.
Again, let's go back.
Right.
Yes, there are going to be ups and downs. We already know that.
Yes.
We already know that.
Yes.
Come on. 80% of us, no, forgive me. Yeah.
No, yes.
Yes. 80% of us go to, live by, drive by, or CME members of a church.
Right.
Now, why am I saying that? Because we all know about the song, Don't Wait Till the Battle is Over, Shout Now.
Right.
Why? Because you know in the end, you're going to win.
Yeah. Right.
Okay? So, with that being said, don't allow your problem to be bigger than your God. Don't allow your situation to be bigger than your relation.
Right.
It's only a situation because it's there to help us grow.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Andre Crouch. There was a song he wrote.
Mm-hmm.
He started out with, I've had many tears and sorrow.
Right.
I've had questions for tomorrow.
Right.
There were times that I didn't know right from wrong, but in every situation, God give us blessed consolation. Though our trials come to make us strong.
Right.
And then, of course, then we get churchy. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus.
Right.
Y'all know how we do.
Right. Yes.
But what I'm saying is, which I want y'all to get, is that you cannot allow your situation to become your separation.
Right.
I say, okay, come on. Point number 4. Y'all come on and write. I got something else I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Here it is.
We're here.
Here we go. Do not let, Lord help me today. Do not let somebody take you where you don't want to go.
Ooh.
Do not allow your situation to take you where you don't want to go. Where's all my spouses that love to fight? No, don't raise your hand, because if you raise your hand, you'll be in trouble.
Somebody said, where were you 25 years ago?
Working on this book.
Right. And we'll make sure that you guys have the information. We're gonna tell you. I think we have a tentative release date down the line, but we're gonna make sure that you have access to it because there's such good stuff in here. I want to say something to you really quick that I noticed in here, and things just keep popping up. I love that you addressed men in this book too and your self-care. But one of the things I loved, you said your experiences for relations are built on ships. Companionships to enjoy, right? Friendships encourage, relationships enhance, not on boats. Love boat, meeting and maintaining, tugboat, fighting and fussing, rowboat, complaining and compromising, right? So I want to dive into that. Because you kind of mentioned friendship when you talk about relationships. And the one thing that you pretty much dive pretty good into friendship. And a lot of times, I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you and you can get me right. I am grateful for friendship in relationship. But there was a time when I would run from friendship in relationship. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
I believe that your friends, right? Your friends end up being the people that know you the best. And if you're not careful and you have not vetted the situation correctly, and I am saying you have not vetted the situation correctly because I'm admitting that I did not.
Right.
But I'm telling you what my reservations were so that you can address this thought. The hard thing about being in friendship with someone is that they learn you well. And if they are a chameleon, or they're not intentional about truly being transparent with you. Their intentions in general toward you are not pure. Then they can pretend to be what you want based on what they know about you, having no intention of actually being that person. So tell me, because you really do, I have to be honest with you, you really went really, really deep into cultivating friendship, what to look for in a friend. You said focus on the way the friendship feels and not just what it looks like. And that blows my mind because that's cross-pollination, right? We could put that in relationships. We could put that in friendships that we just hang out with. How does it feel? Do I feel better spending time with this person? And you guys, again, I would like to reinforce everything I'm reading is coming from his book. Do I feel better after spending time with this person? Do I feel free to be myself around this person? Do I feel safe, or do I feel like I have to watch what I say and do? Is this person supportive of me? Do they treat me with respect? Is this a person that I feel I can trust? And then you go into, and I'm not going to go into it here because I want you to talk about the importance of friendship and relationship, but you actually dive into why online friends are not enough and how technology has made us replace relationship. And you guys, I promise you need to get this. But one of the things I wanted you to kind of touch on for marrieds and singles is the importance of friendship in relationship.
Exactly. And I thank you so much for reading that, because in order for us to understand relationship, first we got to really understand what is friendship.
Yes.
You know, what is a friend? What constitutes a friend?
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny because, now we have, that's not my friend, he's an associate.
It's complicated.
That's
my special friend.
Now it's complicated,
that's my special friend.
And then now all of a sudden we got what do you call them? We got acronyms now. That's my BF, and that's my BFF.
Right.
BFFLM.
Friend with benefit.
And I'm saying to myself, do we really know what friendship feels like? Because we're so busy constituting what does friendship look like. This is where we take television, movies, and we say, okay, now that's a friend. That's the type of friend I'm going to be. Because see, now watch this. When we talk about friends, let's look at ourselves for a moment. What type of friend are you?
Yes.
Do you like people or do you not like people? Do you like talking or do you like communicating? Because see, now watch this. There's a difference between talking
Listen.
and communicating.
Yep.
Because see, watch this. Lord help. Friends talk.
Yeah.
Best friends communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, if I'm going to talk to you, I got to find something that that both of us can relate to, so we could talk about that relatable issue.
Right.
Now, what can we relate to? Being single. Okay, let's talk about being single. Well, I don't want to talk about that. Okay. Why don't you want to talk about being single? Because that's about me.
Right.
The thing is this, as a friend, I've got to learn how to be able to talk in a way to where I can bring up things and be general.
Yes.
Versus putting myself out there. Because I heard you say you have to be careful because there are a lot of chameleons out there. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell y'all. They can fake church. They can fake friends too.
Yeah.
So we have to understand that you can be general about it, a whole lot of stuff. Because what they'll do is they'll bring it back to you. But you said so and so and so, and you go just like this. But that's not me.
Right.
I was speaking in a general text.
Right.
Oh,
and I want to say this. I want to say this because it popped in my head when you said that. When I'm a friend and I talk, right, I'm interested in what I get out of the conversation. But when I'm communicating, I'm concerned about how you're leaving the conversation, right?
There you go. That is correct.
Wow.
And see,
Wow.
and see, now watch this. This is why a lot of people can't have friends.
Right.
See, Nisi, because they're not communicators. Now they like to talk or they like listening, but again, if you like listening, what do you bring to the conversation?
Right.
And if you're not bringing nothing to the conversation, now I wonder why you sitting up here listening.
Right. Now, okay, so then let me ask the question. So can you truly be successful in a relationship if you don't know how to correctly be a friend?
No. And I'll tell you why. Because in a relationship, the first thing you need to be able to do is communicate. You got to be able to communicate. Secondly, you got to be able to listen. Active listening, not just listen, but active listening. Because see, when you listen, that means there are some people who talk and like to hear themselves talk.
Right.
But if you're active listening, then the next thing I say is not, I wish Lisa hurry up so I could go ahead and say what I'm going to say right quick because I don't want to lose my train of thought.
To respond. Right.
I want to be able to hear what you're saying and then say, okay, what you just said was so and so and so and so. Now this is what I agree with. So now that you heard me say exactly what you said, okay, he's listening. Okay, now he says he agrees with this, but he doesn't agree with this. Okay, I can deal with that. I can understand that.
Yes.
Versus, okay, yeah, she talking, but as soon as she get finished, I'm gonna go ahead and.
Right.
That's not a friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, it is important that we do, as friends, we have to learn how to communicate. Because if there is no communication, there can be no friendship.
Wow. Well, listen, I could talk to you for hours on end, you know that. And there's so much good in these pages. I mean, literally, it's just nugget after nugget of wisdom. I'm so grateful for you even sharing it with me. It was so good. And I was intentional about not telling you what I thought so that you can find out in public. So I'm so grateful. I am really, really grateful for just everything that you kind of imparted. I want you to do a final thought for 3 groups of people. So for the first group are the singles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we'll do a blanket for the singles. Singleness, single and divorced, single widows, right? All of that in one thought. I want you to do something for the married people, right? And then I would like for you to do a final thought for the people that are engaged.
All right. Well, of course, and please keep me online here. First of all, if I may, I want to thank you so very much
for
allowing your uncle to come and just kind of talk off the side of his dome and things that God has really placed upon my heart for us as a people. So we can start, I hear this all the time, get a dialogue. But you can't get a dialogue if you don't understand the concept of a relationship. Absolutely. And it starts with becoming a friend.
Absolutely.
And so I appreciate you and I thank you so much, and I'm so very proud of you. And I've been doing pretty good. I haven't cried yet. I got to keep this. I got to keep because I'm pretty.
Right. All right.
But to answer your question, for the singles, understand, and I have to go back to this. Understand your purpose.
Yeah.
There is a purpose to being single. You're not single because somebody pointed you out. You're not single because I've decided that I don't want it. You are single for a purpose.
Yeah.
And once you find out what your purpose is, then you can focus on your plan.
Yes.
And then once you deal with your purpose and your plan, then you could start putting out the procedures on how to get or how to advance to your purpose. Because again, anybody could have a plan, but if you don't have procedures, what does your plan mean? Nothing. Yes. So all single people, don't be concerned about who's getting married or when am I going to get my turn, or, I like this one. Sometimes, watch this, sometimes we're single because we're just not ready. Yeah. And yeah, I heard you, number 33. Oh, I'm ready. No, because if you were ready, you wouldn't have to say it. And remember, for the Bible said, he that findeth a wife, findeth a good thing. It didn't say he who findeth a side chick. It didn't say he who findeth a girlfriend.
Right.
And then again, let's even go back. It said he that findeth. So just like you had to go out and find her, that means you also have to go out and find a job. Go out and find you some work to do. Go out and find you something that's going to bring something to your legacy.
Right.
Go out and find it. And when you do, trust me, God will allow you to find that ram that's stuck in the bush.
Yes.
To all my married people, those of you who've been married for 6 days, 6 months, 6 years, understand that it's a highway to heaven. None can walk up there
but
the pure in heart.
Yeah.
I say that to say this, that this is a journey. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. Married people, understand that marriage was not built in minutes.
Yeah.
It was built for moments.
Ooh, yes.
So as long as you keep those moments, the minutes will go far beyond.
Yes.
what you could ever ask for.
Yes.
And lastly, what was my other group? I'm sorry. I got my singles.
Engaged.
Those of you who said, I do, but I don't.
Not quite yet.
I could, but I won't.
All right.
I will say this to you. For those of you who are engaged, understand what it is that you're doing.
Yes.
Why am I saying that? Understand what it is that you're doing. Well, what am I doing? You are taking on a responsibility of someone. You are taking on a accountability
Yes.
of someone. You are taking on an availability of someone. Now, I heard you. Who's the someone? That person is you.
Yes.
Because when you're engaged, you have now decided to become a promise keeper.
Oof.
That's what engagement is. When I'm engaged to you, that's me telling you, that's my promise to you,
Yes.
that I'm not going to be nobody else
Yes.
but the person you see here.
Yes. Yes.
That's, again, those of you who are engaged, remember responsibility, accountability, availability.
Relationship therapy, Bishop James R. Jackson. Listen, I need to have relationship counseling by myself. Okay, because that's how I feel after this evening. It was so good. It was so meaty, and it was so absolutely necessary. Thank you so much. You're getting so many thank yous in the comments. People have said, let me just read some of the comments. They have said, this is invaluable. This is so enlightening. Thank you so much for opening this up. Oh my goodness. If you are engaged, you had better have a virtual session with the bishop before the wedding date. So good. This is good. This was great. People have absolutely interacted with you and absolutely been very, very attentive to everything you said. Thank you for sharing your gift. You know I love you. You know I appreciate you so much. And this is good. So listen, the Minute Relationship Therapy is out for those of you who follow me on YouTube or any of my social media. The minute the book is out, I will make sure that I post a link for you to be able to get it. Support our people. We are doing great things in the kingdom of God for the advancement of his people. And the only people that are going to advance this kingdom is us when we make an intentional decision to do so. I am so grateful for you. And I thank you all for coming. And without further ado, that's a wrap on the show. I will see you guys next Friday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Wasn't that an amazing conversation? I'm so grateful to Bishop Jackson for coming through to enlighten us. Listen, we will be dark or not having Lisa Dannielle After Dark on July 5th or July 12th. We're going to give you guys some time to enjoy your virtual celebrations with your family, but we'll be right back on July 19th at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Email me for access to the Zoom code at contact@lisadannielle.com. Of course, I'll put the information down below so that you can find it. I hope that you guys have a wonderful and safe summer. Listen, obey the laws of your land. Be safe. Be safe. Be safe. If you're perfectly content not to be safe, that's on you. But I just want you to know that we care about you and we hope that you are doing well. And remember, I believe in you. Now it's time for you to believe in yourself. Take care. I love you, and I can't wait to see you again.